Welcome back to the Reading Ginger. Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while. Life happens, you know, gets going. But welcome back to, and Happy New Year. We are now into 2026, and I wanted to take this first video back to go over my 2025 reading goals and then set some reading goals for 2026. So 2 years ago I wanted to read a book a month. I surpassed that. For last year I wanted to read 100 books. I surpassed that. This year my goal was to read 120 books. I think I read like 119 the year before. So like I'm gonna read 120 books. I read 155. Well, by the time this video comes out, I'll have read 155 in 2026. I am finishing my last read of the year. I am very proud of myself for that. I really kind of pushed myself. My goal was, I also had a goal to read 100 pages a day. Some days it was easier than others. I did not get that goal every day, especially once I hit my goal of 120 books. I feel like I was good at getting 100 books until I hit my goal, and then it just went. So there was that. I started off this year with a, in my opinion, 5-star read. It was Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. Abby Jimenez is one of my favorite authors. As of right now, the last book I have finished is Off to the Races, which was a 4-star read for me. I'm currently reading A Photo Finish by Elsie Silver, which is the second book in that series, and I should know this about Violet Eaton. Oh, a few people are not telling me. I read the whole Chestnut Spring series and all those series this year, and I fully enjoyed it. So I'm very excited about that. I read 3 different ways this year. So I read physical copies of books. I got a Kindle this year, and I read Kindle copies. And then I also read audio. I have about an hour commute one way to work, so I find audiobooks a nice way to pass the time, especially when there's traffic, and there's always traffic. So there is that. I read 49 physical books. Between that was a mixture of books that I owned, books that I borrowed from the library. I do borrow a lot from the library. I've tried to not buy many books this year. And I mean, I kind of succeeded. I did thrift a lot of books, but that's that's totally different than buying them full price. And then I also had Book of the Month, so I would get some books from there. I read 56 digital books, so 56 books in my Kindle, and then 48 books in audio. So if you break that down into percentages, I read 32% physical copies, 37% digital copies, and 31 audio copies. So I definitely read more on my Kindle. I feel I read faster when I'm reading a Kindle copy. I don't understand the logic in that. Like, I can be reading my favorite author and struggle reading a physical copy, but fly through a Kindle copy. Anybody else like that? I don't know. So I was also reading about 1 book every 4 days. So for people who say that it's not possible to read over 100 books if you have it's possible. It's possible. Audiobooks are real books. I don't get that. Can we leave this all in 2025? I had 5 top genres in my reading. My top genre was indeed romance. Of the 155 books I read, 134 of them were romances. 22 were thrillers, 19 were fiction, 10 were young adult, and 7 were sports related. Which is shocking because last year I think all of my books were sports related, so I really stepped away from sports romances and went to small town romances. I did read some sports ones, but we mostly kind of went to small town thriller. And if you have not read a thriller romance, you need to. I suggest a Catherine Cowles novel. I started with The Sparrow Falls, Fragile Sanctuary, and got addicted that way. But any of her series are great thrillers and they're heavy on the romance, so you should definitely check her out if you have not already. My average rating for the year was 4.2 stars, so I'm very much like what I kind of read. Like, I won't finish it if I don't like it, and if I do, it's just because I feel bad that I started something and I need to finish it. I had a 2-star review. It was an audiobook that I read. I just did not enjoy it. It was confusing all over the place. Not my cup of tea. I had 17 3-star reviews, which I usually only give 3-star reviews if I enjoyed the story, but I struggled to get into it. And so there's about 17 books where I really struggled to get into it and enjoy the concept of the book. Review, which I don't even remember doing. I don't really ever give half-star reviews, so 3.5. I don't know what book it is. I'll look it up if you guys want to know, but yeah. I gave 78 4-star reviews, which is the most common type I do, unless like I physically cannot put the book down, then it's a 4-star review. And then I read 56 5-stars, which I could not put the book down, and I literally had trouble going to bed at night because I wanted to read. So yeah, my top 5 authors of 2025 were Catherine Cowles with 17 books. I read 17 of her books this year. I also found her this year, so finding her made me want to read these books even more. Corinne Michaels, I read 11 of her books, which I also very much enjoy her suspenseful romances. Elsie Silver, I read 11 of her books. I read Chestnut Hills, oh my god, what was the other one? The Wild Love series. I can't think of the name. Rose Hill. And wait, was it Rose Hill? I think. And I'm currently reading Gold Rush Ranch series. That is a tongue twister. Oh my goodness. Megan Quinn, I read 7 of her books. If you haven't read any of her books, they're very funny, and I highly recommend audio books for them because even funnier. I don't think you never did this. And then I read 5 Rebecca Yarros books. This is the first year I actually read Rebecca Yarros, and girl, made me want to cry my eyes out. I read In the Likely Event, which, oh my gosh. I read Verity, also. I started the Empyrean series, so I read 3, 4 Thing, Iron Flame, and Onyx Storm. And I also read The Last Letter, and that is the last Rebecca Yarros book I've read for the year because I could not move on from this book. I'm still not over it. I was looking at my sister's book she's reading, and she's reading it, and I'm like, oh, have you finished it? And she was like, oh, I read it at the gym sometimes when I'm bored. And I'm like, you cannot read this book at the gym. Like, I sobbed my eyes out. What do you mean? So, good luck to her. Some of my favorite reads from this year would be Unsteady and Unloved by Peyton Corinne. I also really enjoyed, I read a lot of Alison Specca. I do ARC reads for her too, so that was really fun. My favorite series that I found was Sparrow Fall series by Catherine Cowles. Fragile Sanctuary really just, something about Rose and Hanson, man. And then she finished it off this year with Kind, Fallon, and oh my gosh, anyway, we have Across the Raging Sky to look forward to next year. I did read a bunch of Megan Quinn books, which I will hopefully read more next year. Can't wait to get another Town story. I also felt like Guy and Karen were gonna break up. I had a feeling, just because of the way Max just could not remember his name at all in this book. I'm like, this guy's not sticking around. Like, if he was gonna stick around, this would not be. Anyway, I read Bride and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. I read a lot of Ali Hazelwood this year. I really am enjoying her as an author. I read the whole Chestnut Spring series, Rose Hill series. I read the whole Rose Hill series, finished that one this year. I read a lot of Catherine Center. I read a book about love letters to serial killers. That was an interesting read. All the Missing Pieces by Catherine Cowles is another really great one. One Golden Summer. If Carly Fortune writes it, I will read it. And it will probably be a 5-star read. Yeah, I read a lot. I found the Gallagher Girls series again, and I did read that. My friend Rachel actually got me the rest of that series she found for me, so I'm really happy to have that in my collection again. The shortest book I read was 12 pages long, and it was a Gallagher wedding, which is a short story that goes along with the Gallagher Girls series. And my longest book, shockingly, was Things We Left Behind, the Knock 'Em Out series. I really love the Knock 'Em Out series. It was a great series, and Things We Left Behind was the longest one with 698 pages. The average book length I read was about 362 pages, and yeah, I really had a really great reading year. I'm very happy with what I read. I'm also happy I didn't break the bank buying books. I really leaned in using the library and my Kindle, and I did get Audible this year because I do like to listen, and it does give you a credit every month that you're a part of it, so I do enjoy that aspect. We had a really great year, and for 2026 I am setting myself with the goal of 140 books. I do have a lot going on in 2026, so I don't want to commit to something like 160 since I read 155 this year, because I don't want to disappoint myself, and I don't want to set myself up for expectation, and I don't want to burn myself out and not enjoy reading anymore. So I think 140 is really good. It bumps it up 20 from last year. I think I'm going to just keep bumping it up 20 every time. But we are going to BookCon this year, so that's going to be something really, really exciting that is going to be happening. So stick around for videos from there. And then we are also probably going to do more book reviews, more collabs, more coffee shop reviews. So stay tuned, and we will see you guys. No. Stay tuned. But I also have books I'm looking forward to in 2026. Across the Raging Sky and that whole series by Catherine Cowles that's coming. Corinne Michael has a book coming out. I can't think of the name off the top of my head. To finish the Everfall series. Then we also have Unbound, which is part of the Unsteady and Unloved series. And yeah, those are just some of the books that I'm really looking forward to for 2026. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And comment below. Tell me what you read this year, what you enjoyed, what your goals for 2026 are, to hear them. And until the next video. Keep reading.
It's coming back.